Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another Star Citizen live stream. We are on live stream. We're at the Port Olisar. We are still in 2.4.1 of the PTU, or the not PTU of the persistent universe. If Dark Hearth gets his internet today like he thought it was, he might actually join us on the stream. We'll see. We'll see. If not, it's no big deal. Warning, high encoding. Okay, well, I would hope so. High encoding. Why is there... See, I've noticed lately in the last few days, and I don't know what it is about. I haven't made any changes to my system that I know of. My system is starting to give me grief. It's giving me like, it's just giving me an excuse to get a new graphics card. But yeah, it's giving me all kinds of problems. I mean, I'm streaming right now at 40 frames. But then part of this is the internet. The internet has been acting up in the last couple of days. My local internet provider, which is my FPS is plummeting. Warning high. Warning high. Wonder why it's doing that. Is it because I have my webcam on? I don't think so. I mean, I've streamed with 100 different screens. Yeah, my FPS is like dropping to 40 to 50. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, when I'm moving around, my FPS is dropping. Wow, a lot. I actually was able to get it down to 39 FPS. High encoding. You know, that might have something to do with a setting that I put in my broadcaster. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I'm going to tab out just a second. I'm going to check the settings in my broadcaster and see if I messed something up. I could very well have messed something up. Settings. Okay, that's nothing. Now I'm using 264 on the encoder. I had changed it from NVIDIA NVENC. The reason why I needed to change that was because I was having a problem picking up a video. So you know what I'm going to do? Everything else is the same, right? Right, so far so good. I'm clicking on all the different options here.
This station has been designated as armistice zone. Tampering with weapon safety protocols.
This area is not safe. Please keep moving.
Okay, I'm not changing that interval. Code in full range? Oh, I don't know. Automatic low latency tuning factor, automatic low latency mode. I think I used to have that checked. I don't know. I didn't make any changes, so why would I? I'll just say yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm checking all the different options here. That all looks new. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, this is all like a whole new page. Oh, you know what it might be? OBS just patched recently. Yeah, so, wow. They might have patched me into a negative, like, into a bad way. Okay, so right now I'm on 264, right? So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit start recording, and this will just be a recording for local. So it's making a recording locally. It's going to be short, I'm sure, because I'm stopping the recording right now. Stop. There we go. Now I'm going to change that setting. And now I don't know if it'll let me change the setting in the middle of a broadcast. Yeah, it says these settings won't apply until the next time you begin streaming. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop streaming, and then restart the stream almost instantly. There should be no break in YouTube. Here we go. All right, we're back with the new settings. Let me run a little bit and see if that affects my FPS at all. Oh, look at that. My FPS is staying locked in at 60 frames, unlike it wasn't in the... Okay, so the NVIDIA processor was better than the... Okay. But the reason why I switched was the videos not playing. So I'm going to tab out again. I'm going to start a video. Start recording. Wait, what did I do? Just stop recording? Okay, so I should be recording right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my editor and see if I have problems with it. And if I do, yeah, might have to record in a different way. Okay, stop recording. Got it. Okay, so with all my programs up and everything, I'm going to bring up my video editor. So I'm loading that application right now. Pulling up my live stream videos. New, we'll call it test. Test, just to test the video. The first one I drag and drop in there. Really? It's giving me a green screen. If I take the second one, that should be the video one, right? It's hourglassing to load. It's not loading. Save on resources and expenses. Join the ShipShare program today and fly together. We advise guests to please use caution upon exiting the armistice zone, as weapons will once again become active. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, they're both green screens, but that might... Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, well, we'll just exit out of those, and I'll test that later. All right, now we're going to play some Star Citizen, and I'm going to leave it on the NVIDIA, because it apparently helped out with the FPS? Maybe not. Trying to get my FPS on the broadcast to drop below 60. It's not doing it. Okay, that's fine. All right, so here we go. We are gonna just, whoa, I need to do that. I need to close that.
To access your craft, consult one of the terminals.
Yeah, my computer's not running up to full potential right now. I don't know what's going on. You know, somebody was telling me that Windows 10, in one of the more recent patches, went into your BIOS and messed with the BIOS, right? And you need to go into the BIOS and revert it back to your previous setting or something like that.
As weapons will once again become active.
If that's the case, that could very well be, because I think all my little glitches have happened ever since the latest Windows 10 patch.
This station has been designated as an armistice zone. All weapons are currently disabled.
Selection confirmed.
All right, so we
Your
are going to
ship
go
is
to
currently delivered to
A2.
the launch platform.
Encouraging travelers to stay resources. Bye.
I should have both of them, shouldn't I? Why is there something floating in space next to me? Looks like a scope. It didn't equip it. Huh. It's all good. Yep, the stream's looking good. If you're watching the stream with me, you know, let me know if the stream's looking good or not. I'm just curious.
Landing complete.
Okay, let's go land on a planet. No, I can't do it yet. Not yet.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green. Landing gear retracted. Chaff ready. Quantum travel initiated. Flare ready. Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel initiated.
Well, if you watch my channel, you notice that we did a little bit of Vandal Swarm earlier. Looks like Ronin, and
Begin scan.
I guess that's Ronin 5. Bam! Run right into him. Where'd that ship go? It's not giving me. Oh, there it is. I think I gave it a gentle nudge.
Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Landing gear deployed.
Welcome to the channel.
System overheat. Contact.
Got any questions? Feel free to ask in chat. I'll
Landing.
periodically, occasionally glance over to see what's up. Oh, look at that. Hey, Robert, man, what's going on, man? Game just blew up. Use. Is that a subliminal message? Yeah, I got a black screen. Black screen of death. Okay, disconnect code timed out. Right. That's why the door wouldn't open. Something was up. Something was up. Okay, so the game's not running right now, so I'm going to back out of the game completely because I'm curious about those videos I just made, okay? So bear with me. Bear with me. You can't see this because I don't have it on monitor. I have this on. Yep, there's Vegas. I'm using Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum, of course. And I'm just going to make it a test video. Earlier, before you got here, I filmed a couple of videos under a couple of different protocols. And I wanted to see if my... Yeah, it's having a hard time loading that NVIDIA one. They're both MP4s, though. So why do I understand? I mean, I am streaming it all, but for some reason it's just not identifying these videos anymore like they used to. Yeah, just green screen. The thumbnails load fine. If I play the video, I think I can play the video using like media player or something. Yeah, it plays fine under media player. Just stop recording. Okay, so I should be recording, right? Alright, so yeah, they record fine. I just wonder why it doesn't show up. And it looks like it's still trying to load it like it's insanely high resolution. But I'm only filming it in 1920 by 1080, so for some reason this program is slowed way down. Yeah, that's bothering me. It might be the BIOS like some guys were telling me. You know, when we're done streaming, I might be checking that out. Or I could check it out now, actually. Yeah, I used to have this software. That let me check the BIOS without having to go, you know, to the BIOS in the middle of the game. So let me see if I can do that. Maybe I can spell this right. Yeah, Gigabyte BIOS update Windows 10. Okay, there was something there. Gigabyte. I mean, I didn't even... It was released 6/23. Okay, so maybe I need to look at that. That way you can see what I'm doing. Thunderbolt. I don't need any of that. Yeah, I think I'm at X99. Yeah, I think it was at BIOS is what Yeah, that's 5. But yeah, something came out 623, and I bet you that, whoa, what's this? 718. I don't need Thunderbolt functions. App Center, Power Management, Smart Information Viewer, Easy Tune. Okay. 623, that would be a couple months ago. I thought it was an X99 though. Like this X99. But basically, I just want to be able to download some software that lets me go into the BIOS without having to. Here's the BIOS setup right here, without having to actually go into the BIOS. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There used to be a fast boot. I'm not really using that. System information viewer, don't really use that. Or the V-tuner, I don't use that. I remember all this came with my tweak launcher. I don't know what that is. It was Easy Tune. Thinking about downloading this just to do it. I'm going to put it somewhere where I'm going to remember where it is. In a second. Just extract it there. What the hell? Okay. Windows Smart Screen prevented the app from starting. Don't run. Really? Really? That's telling me to extract it. I want to extract it. It should already be extracted. Maybe that's why. Okay, hang on. MB. Ah, here it is. Run anyway. I'm doing it. Bitches. Please install App Center utility first. Really? Okay, well it did say that. I was just ignoring it. App, this is the one, right? Hey, thanks for coming out and checking out this live stream. But I want to see if I can't get this thing going. Okay, running the App Center. I don't know if you see any of that. And see, look at that. It's telling me not to run it. Well, guess what? Run anyway. Installing Easy Tune. Okay, that's fine. I had that on my system a long time ago. I uninstalled it because I didn't see the use for it. Really? What's it doing? Yeah, it's installing. It's taking a second. There we go. I've already done it. Alright, I'm going to do it anyway. Perfect. Now I should be able to go back to the BIOS setup. Crossing my fingers, hoping this helps. I heard somebody come into the store. You know, I work with computers, right? And they mentioned that there was a Windows 10 messed with people's BIOS, and they needed to go in and reset it back to original default or something like that. And I didn't know I needed to do that. Wait, what? Let me select it. Well, At BIOS will automatically terminate some programs such as Easy Tune, etc. Do you want to continue? Yes. Open driver handle failure. Got a bunch of OKs. Watch the App Center. Apparently my, oh, it's, I get a Z77, not an X99. BIOS version. BIOS date. Boot option priorities. Ah, okay. That can actually help me when I was trying to put my, yeah, SSD in here. Okay. This doesn't help me though. This is just a BIOS setup and it doesn't allow me to change anything. It says save and reset. That's all it's saying. Power off, ERP, AC back. Very vague. Okay. Either way, what we're going to do is we're going to pull Star Citizen back up and we're going to run a game. We're going to play the game. Let's do it. Hey, Dean, Matt. Manguston? Manguston? I don't know. Let's get this game back up and running. Yeah, I thought I was, well, let's back up. I am on our unit TeamSpeak, and I was hoping that Dark Hearth would get on and we could tool around together. I just haven't seen him in a while. You know, and his system, he finally got a brand new system and new internet and everything. It's supposed to be working. I'll work on that. Now that I realize I've got a Z77 and not an X99, that might actually help me. I'm scrolling down because this list is so long. Theros. Yeah, I got that. LAN optimizer. Yeah, I don't need that. Z87 chipset. Shoot, I haven't even gotten down to the Z77 yet. Okay, there we go. That's probably why it wasn't working as best like it's supposed to. Whatever, let me close all that. All right, we're getting back in. I hate it when the game crashes on me though, because then I feel like get back in and do it all over again and stuff like that. Out there in Streamland, how's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right? My question is, what are you doing while you're watching me play? I mean, are you at work? Are you at school? Are you just chilling up behind the computer? Are you doing some homework? Nobody? Nobody wants to answer? Okay. No worries. We're back in now. Okay, there's my laser. Where's my assault rifle? Wait, what? What just happened? Hey, Robert, just relaxing? Yeah, look at that. I got another disconnect code. Try this again. If I get too many more errors, I'm going to jump into a different game. Actually, let me just say this. If I get one more kick, one more disconnect, I'm done with you. No, yeah. What might I go play? I mean, I'm playing like 4 different games right now. I'm playing War Thunder, of course. Rome 2. Game of Thrones. Look at that. Look at that door. Look at that door. Beautiful, isn't it? I don't mind black doors. All I mind is getting kicked off the server.
Welcome to the Port Olizar ship deck. Please press the screen to continue.
Looks like everybody got kicked because they're all here.
Selection confirmed. Your ship is currently being delivered to the launch platform.
That's nice. Yeah, I hope 2.5 brings more stability also, but I have a feeling it's not. My understanding is that they are going to implement a new type of code. Basically the whole networking code is changing, and it's not going to be ready for 2.5. So what they're doing is they're not working on the current code. So because that would be a waste of manpower when they're putting all their effort into the new code. And the new code is, I believe it's coming out in 2.6 along with Star Marine. And then we'll have a chance to test out that new code, make sure everything's stable and works right before they decide to make that big leap to 2.7.
Landing gear reset. Contact.
That's my understanding. And I know everything. I don't. It just seems that way. What? Denied.
Contact. Begin scan. Quantum travel initiated. Contact. Begin scan.
Finally, some easy pickings.
Contact. Begin scan.
Yeah, whatever.
Initiated. Complete. Contact. Begin scan.
Which reminds me, Alt-Tab, mouse, Star Citizen, back, enter, macro, enter.
Under fire. Contact. Shields recharging. Mid shield under fire. Shields recharging. Shields recharging.
He's getting a missile.
Missile. Port shield under fire. Missile. Lock. Jab. Shield up. Jab up. Engines low. Jab up. Jab up. Engines low. Engines low.
So Cossack just wants to start shooting at me when I jump in. Okay. I'm totally okay with that. Especially when this is the place to do it.
Contact. Begin scan. Engines low. Engines low.
Oh, shut up, AI. I know my engines are low.
Missile locked. Shields recharging. Jab. Shields up. Rear shield. Missile locked. Shields recharging. Missile locked. Mid shield under fire. Shields up.
I wasn't out here to get into a dogfight. If I want a dogfight, I just go to Arena Commander. He's a Cossack. That's right. He's a Cossack. Really? Another guy wants to shoot at me? Really, dude? I'm not really sure how my rear shields are being hit when I'm facing him.
Quantum travel initiated. Shield. Quantum travel complete.
Wonder if he followed me.
Contact. Begin scan.
Yeah, he followed me.
Thanks for stopping by Cryastro. Hold while our systems connect to your ship. Prepping for a long trip?
Quantum travel
Fill up on quantum
initiated.
fuel before you go.
Ready. Travel complete. Quantum travel initiated. Quantum travel complete.
Welcome to Cryastro Station. What can we do for you
Landing
today?
mode engaged. Automated landing
Your ship has
initiated.
endured structural damage. Would you like to initiate repairs?
Landing request approved. Landing gear deployed. AP activated.
Here we go. No.
Landing complete.
Something to do, and I don't remember exactly, but like ballistics. Ballistics do damage to the hull, and lasers do damage to shields, and it's good to have a combination of both, or some junk like that. I don't remember actually.
Checked our inventory, and we're stocked for all your repairs. Stand by. Stand by. Restocking ammunition. Let's get you filled up. The team at Cryastro thanks you. Hope to see you soon.
Landing gear retracted.
There he is.
Begin scan.
He's a pirate.
Missile lock. Missile lock.
Now I'm going to land on this base, and he's going to come in and blow up my ship. And that's totally 100% expected.
Missile lock. Rear shield under fire. Shields recharging. Shields recharging. Shield under fire. Engines. Shields recharging. Shields recharging. Head shield under fire. Missile lock. Engines low. Engines low. Rear shield under fire. Shields recharging. Rear shield under fire. Shield locked. Engines low. Shields recharging. System overheating. Landing.
I think he blew up. it never picks up. It's always like in the air. There we go. Still not at it. Or do I? Yeah, I don't. Oh, he blew up my saber. Boo hoo. Okay, sorry, glancing over to the chat, it says, can you eject towards the station? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you could. You know, like point your cockpit towards the station and then eject as like a rocket-assisted EVA. I bet you could do that. But once you EVA, you can use your boosters. I didn't mean to do that. Let's start running. Let's see how far around we can get. 1/4 of a lap. 2/4 of a lap. 3/4 of a lap. And we're tired. Okay. Let's look at the doors. Let's make sure that they are all pressurized. Yep. I think I'm the only one in here. Pressurized. He's having a good old time just buzzing the thing outside. That's fine. I think everyone on the ground floor is pressurized. Perfect. So now let's go to the 3rd floor and see if we can't check those 2 doors to make sure they're pressurized. The reason why I check them to make sure they're pressurized is if you're outside, you have to get in, you have to depressurize it first, step in, then repressurize it to get in, and that gives me time to get into a position to shoot you. That's what I think. That's my plan. Okay, so I'm just chilling. Right. Packing. How come when I go left, he kind of like his butt turns to the left. But when I go right, nothing happens. He just walks off at a 45. Something not right here. Like right here, I'll press the right button. He just walks off to the right. Now if I press the left button, his butt turns and he starts doing like a back step. Doesn't do that on the right side, just the left side. It's weird. It's not right. There is something on the third level that I should pick up. I mean, I don't need it because every time I log in, it's like I lose it. So, but it's just one more thing to click on while I'm here. Now, Aaron and I, we went prone like right over here and behind these cabinets. And then when somebody came in to get the terminal, we just blasted them. But actually, he blasted them. I couldn't get a shot because the other terminal was in the way. Okay, we're doing pretty good on FPS. So that's pretty good. 60 FPS, that should be alright. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of FPS action. Just waiting for somebody to come in. I got the security guard post, so. Wait, that didn't sound good. Really, Sneaky Cone? Really? You're gonna do something like that? What a baby. Oh, okay, there was a little lag there. Where'd my rifle go? Okay, there it is. Whoa. This window over here makes some noise. You hear it? You don't hear it so much over here. You only hear it as you approach this vent over here. It looks to be like a vent here of some kind. I wish I could jump over this and like hide in that area. It won't let me do it. There, I just finished my mission. I just got credits for it. I'm going to sit here and wait for the alcohol to respawn. Guys got any questions about Star Citizen? I'm here to answer them. Pretty good shot group. Let's see if I can hit the D. Ah. To have fun. Nerf Zombie Hunter. The purpose of any game should be to have fun, right? I know a lot of people lose sight of that, but that's the whole reason why you play games, is to have fun, right? Now, how do you go about having fun? That's another story. It's an open world game where you can take on the role of anything from your imagination. So you can basically, if you want to be a merchant, you can be a merchant. If you want to be a marine, you can be a marine. If you want to be a starship captain, you can be a starship captain. If you want to be the gunner on a starship or an engineer, or if you just want to go exploring planets, maybe being an alien hunter, or like alien tigers or whatever. Or if you want to be a pirate, or if you want to be a covert agent, all of that is opportunity in Star Citizen universe. You can do it all. And that's what is so appealing to a lot of people, is there are so many careers. Now, when you make your character, do you click on something that says, click, I'm a Marine? No. Do you click on something that says you're an explorer? No. What you do is you make a character, you go into the world, and if you're a Marine, then you go do Marine things. If you want to be an explorer, you make that decision. You decide to go do exploration things. So there's no class system, like D&D or whatever. You're not a fighter or a cleric or a wizard or a thief. You are who you are. You are who you say you are. If you say you're a Marine, then you're a Marine. Or you could be lying about it because you might be a covert agent. But yeah, you could, if you want to be a pirate, be a pirate. That's what's super exciting about the game, is there's no limits. Now, what am I excited about in the game? I'm just gonna take this question to the next level. Okay, I've set up a squadron, 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron, and you see it in the advertisement in the bottom right corner. Yeah, so you know. We are role playing. We're gonna get into our character and kind of portray an actual military Navy space squadron. We're going to have sabers, we're going to fly, missions and stuff like that. Now, what are those missions going to be? Well, those missions are going to be what we make of them. But we're going to have guys like myself running around, going to quest givers, just like an MMO, and he's going to say, hey, can you carry this cargo from point A to point B? And then bring me back some milk or whatever, right? And we're going to accept that mission, but that's only because that's how the game is presenting that mission to us. We're going to act as if it was a mission given to us by the military. So we're going to take on, we're going to have Squadron escorting our merchant ships, which carry the cargo from point A to point B, and then we pick up the milk and we bring it back to him. Okay, and then we give it to him. Basically, he's like one of our, what do they call those? Not AIs. PI? PI. Is that right? And it's basically like he's one of our clients, or our the word escapes me. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's where he's like our patron, right? Okay. So now we're going to do missions like that, but those missions are going to be varied. We're going to have exploration missions. We're going to have cargo transport missions. We're going to have protection missions. We're going to have attack missions. We're going to have all these missions, but we're going to have an underlying theme of the military is actually giving us these missions through these patrons. So we're going to kind of read into it. Yeah, well, no, not NPC. He is definitely an NPC, but like when you have an informant, what is it called? It's called a confidential, a CI, that's it. Confidential informant, right? Like a job board, exactly. And there's going to be like the TDD, where you can actually go and get missions, which, I'm going to get out of this because nobody's coming to attack me. So I'm going to go to Area 18, right? And they call it the job well. It's where you go to pick up missions. And we could treat that like that's where we go to pick up our military missions. Easy, right? Okay. But that's just internal. Nobody cares what we're doing, right? But we're going to act like with other players that we're in the military. So when they ask us, are you guys in the military? Yes, we're in the military. We're in the United Earth Empire Navy, right? And if you need us, call us, right? Because we're here to help. We're here to protect citizens, right? Because we went this route, because we know that there's going to be a ton of players out there that are going to be pirates. And there's going to be people taking advantage of other people that don't want to be harassed. So like there might be a guy out there that he thinks exploring a planet or flying around, checking out a solar system or something is going to be super cool, right? He's that kind of guy. He says, yeah, this is going to be super cool. And he's going to go out and do that. And then there's going to be those players that want to take advantage of him because he's not in a military ship, or because he's doesn't have an escort or something like that. They're going to run up to him and blow him up, and they're going to take all of his stuff. We know this, and that's why we didn't want to be that. We wanted to be, first of all, we wanted to be different. Second of all, we know that there's going to be a job market for us. So people are going to come to us and say, hey, one NAS, I'm going to go explore this system. Can you send a couple of fighters with me in case there's pirates? And we would say yes. But because this is a game and we're not actually being financed by the Empire, that would be nice if we were. We're going to tell the guy, hey, if we dispatch a couple of our fighters to you, the UEE is going to expect some kind of compensation, like taxes or something. And for a couple of fighter escort, almost mercenary, right? We're pretty much mercenaries, but we're gonna be a little bit above the whole stigma that mercenaries have, in that all they care about is money. We don't want that. We want to have, all we care about is the mission, but we've got to have money to basically, every time we fire a missile, we've got to be able to replace the missile. Every time we get a ship blown up, we got to replace the ship, you know, or fuel, we got to pay for fuel and all that stuff. So, okay, this is the TDD, this is the job well. You can actually come over here and see different cargoes that are on different planets and what their rate is. Currently, this has no bearing in the game at all. And these cargoes are all fantasy cargoes like Element Zero, Adamantium, what's it, Bacta, you know, Anti-Age, Radium X, Adamantium, Vibranium. Yeah, so these aren't Mithril, Ambrosia. Yeah, so those aren't real cargoes that are going to be carried. If they are, that'll be cool. I don't mind if they do use them. But this is just there as a placeholder to let you see like where it is. But listen to the announcement.
Corporation plus 2.6, Apocalypse Arts plus 5.2, Chroneg minus 1.6. Hammer propulsion required thruster specialist. Experience required. Please report to administration desk.
See, so you could listen for like announcements for jobs. There's probably going to be specialists standing back here taking applications and stuff like that. If, let's say, you are an engineer and you want to work on a crew of a ship, you can do that. Or let's say you're a captain of a ship and you want to hire some people, you might come here and talk to some crew members, potential crew members, and put them on your ship, multiplayer. That right there is super cool. Now this is just one of many places you can go to get crew members. The world is expanding. Right now there's only one planet in one system, but pretty soon we're going to have our 4-planet system, and then after that we're going to have multiple systems that you can go to with multiple planets, with multiple landing zones, and the universe is just going to grow, grow, and grow. You know? That is not what I was trying to hit. I was afraid I was hitting the wrong button. Okay, I'm going to go over to Astro Armada. Yeah, so I hope it's basically an MMO, but it's not. There probably will be some quest chains, but most of the I'm not going to say most. Okay, there's going to be a lot of player-driven missions. Like players are going to say, "Hey, I need an escort. Can you come with me?" There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be, "Hey, all I have is a fighter, but I need you to carry this cargo from point A to point B, and I know you've got a freelancer, so I'll pay you so many credits if you would carry this cargo for me over to this other planet." You know, so players are going to be able to generate. The players themselves will be the quest givers, and let's say, and as a quest taker, you can negotiate. You could say, well, that seems like it's going to be extremely dangerous, so I'm going to charge 1,000 credits. And another guy might say, hey, I'll do it for 500 credits. So now you're going to be competing for those jobs. Yeah, it just seems, I don't know. Now, how do I say this? The problem with that, I think, is, and that's what they kind of want to happen, but I foresee problems. I always look at the negative, just so that when they're not negative, I'm pleasantly surprised. But I'm gonna anticipate most people are going to have an organization that they're a part of, right? Most people are going to be, they'll have those missions like I need cargo carried from point A to point B, but they're not going to put that on the open market. They're going to only reserve that for their organization. So I don't think there will be a lot of player-driven missions, because it'll all be self-contained inside organizations. See what I'm saying? So I think, and that's just a symptom of, hey, if I've got an organization, I'm going to rely on my organization. And that's not stupid, that's smart, right? So I suspect that's what's going to happen with most of the missions. If if I've got a merchant in my organization and he's carrying cargo from point A to point B, what is he going to do? He's going to say, hey, can a couple of you guys come fly with me just to make sure I make it? And we're going to say, sure, buddy, because you're our best buddy. You know, you're in our organization. We love you. And we're going to do that. So it's going to be cheaper because we'll probably do it for free because we know that because he's part of our organization. And it'll just seem right. You know what I mean? So, so I don't think there will be a whole lot of player-driven missions. Now, there might be some organizations that say, hey, we're getting ready to go attack this other organization or something like that, and we need as many people to come help us. So we're putting out like a bounty on this other organization or something like that. And that might be. So the big organizations might stomp on the little organizations that way. And I think that's going to be bad. Because when I go to the organization page, you know, when you go to the organization page, look at small organizations. There are probably, and I'm just going to kind of estimate, there's probably 2,000 organizations with less than 5 people in it. Maybe more. So there's this 5-player organization out there, and then some big organization that has like 200 people, let's just say. That's not huge, but that is big. They're going to say, hey, let's just stomp these guys. And they'll come over and they'll just stomp them and crush them. And then that 5-player organization will probably hate the game and they'll never come back and play. So there's got to be things in place to help prevent that. And part of that is the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. Because we're gonna try to protect UEE citizens, and one organization fighting another organization is not, in our demented sense of the universe, is not a lawful activity. Now, are we just going to jump on pirates? Because, and this is something I've discussed with my guys. We're still in discussion about this. But let's say that we're just flying from point A to point B, right? I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say I'm flying from Crusader to Stanton. Not Stanton, Arcor, the planet I'm on now. Let's say I'm flying from Crusader to Arcor. I get about halfway, and there's a merchant flying out in the air. He's just flying around, and these pirates are attacking him. Okay, so now here's our dilemma. As UEE Navy pilots, we feel like it's our obligation to go defend this merchant, right? To fly in and attack those pirates to keep him from getting blown up. Right. But here comes the gamey part of it. We're not getting paid to do that. We're taking damage, we're using missiles, we're using ballistics, we're risking our lives, pilots might die, and the Navy's not paying us. The merchant might wind up not paying us. So now if there's bounties on these guys, yeah, we'll be collecting those bounties. But if there's not, if it's just a couple of new pirates or something and we attack them, we're going to be without money, right? So why do I have a gun in my hand? Okay, it's all good. I don't mind having it, but yeah. So what we will do, and this is still under discussion. We're going to have to notify the merchant ship, talk to the merchant ship before he gets blown up, and this is going to all happen in a few seconds or in just a few moments. We're going to have to say, okay, we're here to protect you, but there is a charge for the service, and maybe it's 1,000 credits, maybe it's 100 credits, maybe it's 1 credit. We don't know how much it's going to be worth it to us, right? and then he'll have to agree to that payment. He'll have to make an agreement with us. And then we'll jump in on his side and defend him. I don't think we should just go willy-nilly attacking pirates left and right, because that puts our squadron at risk of getting killed. And when you're talking about a permadeath game, where when you die you're permanently dead, there's less incentive to put yourself at risk. Now, if it is possible that we would be able to take these pirates out and take their stuff, then yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it just for that. We'll attack just for the salvage rights of the pirates. But if that's not a possibility, we'll have to see in the game further along how that works out. That's why it's still in discussion how we want to. And another thing, if we're flying along and this merchant gets attacked, there might not be enough time in the battle for him to respond to us, asking him if he's willing to pay our fine or our fee. And if he says, by the time he responds, his ship might have already been blown up. So there's that. Now we could jump in, help, and then turn around and say, there's a fine or a fee for us helping you, and we expect it to be paid. And then when they don't pay it, we put them on a list of don't help in the future. Hey Cole, what's going on, man? Yeah, exactly. Cole, you're right on the nail. You got to hit the nail on the head. Yeah. There's actually, I could probably go on all night talking about all the different possible job opportunities and things like that. So that's really what's exciting about Star Citizen. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a sandbox player. I personally do not like games that leave it up to the players to make their own missions. I don't like games like that. I just don't. So I don't want to have to rely on finding another player to tell me what my mission is. Now, I don't mind having that as an option. That's fine. But what I most am excited about is taking missions from NPCs, quest givers, and going and doing those officially written storyline missions. That's what I want to do. I want to experience the story of Star Citizen. Now I understand, like, if there's 100 quests and I'm going to do all 100 in just a couple of days, and then I'll be out of quests, right? Then I'll have to come up with my own, or go back and redo those quests. That does suck sometimes. But as long as they've got thousands and thousands of missions, there should be no problem. I should not run out of missions anytime soon. What else? Now, there is also a second half to the game, which is called Squadron 42. We didn't really even talk about that. Squadron 42 is a single-player storyline game. You log in, you play your character, you go on a bunch of missions, you go from mission to mission to mission to mission, and then you're done, right? That is supposed to take about 300 hours to complete. It's going to be long. Long, long, long. Now, you don't have to play it start to finish. You can play it, go through like maybe the first chapter, and then stop playing it, and then start playing the MMO, the persistent universe. And then maybe a month from now you say, you know what, I'm going to go back to Squadron 42. And then you go back and play Squadron 42, the next chapter. or whatever. I don't think I'm going to be like that. I think I'm going to play Squadron 42 from start to finish, and I might jump into the Persistent Universe from time to time, but I'm going to pretty much play Squadron 42 from start to finish until it's, and then once it's done, then I'll jump into the universe like with both feet. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to come out or work out. But if that's the case, I'm going to be sequestered away in my little cubby hole for months playing Squadron 42. You know? Squadron 42 is a requirement for our squadron. Hey, Sabian man. Welcome back to the stream. Squadron 42, the actual single-player game, is a requirement for membership in our squadron, because we want everyone that's in our Navy squadron to know Navy protocols, what's expected of you, how to role play your character in this universe, and we want to make sure that you've gone through some combat missions and fought. You're only going to be fighting AI, right? But still, it's training. It teaches you how to fly. It's going to teach you how to be a wingman. It's going to teach you how to communicate. It's going to teach all that by playing Squadron 42. We're basically going to use Squadron 42 kind of like as our basic boot camp. If you can get all the way through Squadron 42, then it's kind of like you just made it through our simulator of our boot camp, and then you get into the squadron. Right now, since there's no Squadron 42, we don't have that limitation. But once Squadron 42, we don't have an age restriction. That's actually a good question, Robert. We have. I know. There's a lot of mature 14-year-olds out there, right? And they're probably really good at the game. They're good twitch reflexes, and they're good. You know, they're great. And then there's some immature 20-year-olds out there, and those. Oh, okay, yeah. But let me tell you. Let me continue. There's some immature 20-year-olds out there, and we don't. I'm not going to card you, right? So if you join the squadron and you say that you're 18, 100 years old, 5 years old, whatever, how would I know? I'm taking your word for it, right? So if somebody says they're 18, are they? You don't know that. You don't know that they're 18. So we don't age restrict anybody. We play with them. We have what's called a trial period. So we bring you into the squadron, and we'll let pretty much anybody join the squadron. So anybody can join the squadron, pretty much. There are a few limitations, but we bring you into the squadron, and then we play with you. And if we can tolerate you, or if you can tolerate us, because it's a two-way street, or if we feel that you're a really good fit with the rest of our squadron, then we'll let you know, and we'll say, okay, you're a really good fit, we're going to keep you on. Now, if you're not a really good fit, you are a jerk, you're obnoxious, or you're just, like way out in left field or something, then we let you know. We say, hey, you're not a good fit for our squadron, and we let you go. And then we kick you, basically. But we have that first couple of months to weed out the undesirables. And it has nothing to do with age. If you're young, but you're mature and you're a good asset to the squadron, we'll take you. If you're an older gentleman, but you're just stupid, you're just constantly like running around, jumping around, shooting people in the back and teabagging people or whatever, you're not a good fit no matter how old you are. That's where we're coming from. We measure you by your compatibility and your maturity, and not by your age. I hope that explains that. I know a lot of people will ask that question. We've been asked that question. We used to have, I mean, this is a long, long time ago, like 3 years ago, we would have an age restriction, but there was a couple of kids that were family members of other members, and we let them join us and play with us, and they turned out to be a really good asset to the squadron. So we had to rethink that age restriction. Just because you're 15 years old doesn't mean you're immature, or just because you're 20 years old doesn't mean you are mature. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's enough of that. Okay, so no age restriction, just maturity level. And we do an evaluation. It usually takes about 2 months. And in that time, you could be finishing Squadron 42. See, that's part of our future plans, because Squadron 42 is not out yet. Kasaba. Looks like they get a few extra shelves in here. I don't remember seeing these extra shelves. So maybe they're going to be getting some more inventory. Cool. I don't remember seeing those extra shelves. Yeah, Robert, I'm jumping back to your last statement where it said large groups could pull cash and buy like big ships to grief with, or just powerful ships. That's already being done. That's already being done, and I know this because we used to have a member. He was a very nice guy, from what I could tell. He was a very nice guy, and he's not a griefer by no stretch of the imagination, as far as I know. I mean, he was in the squadron because I guess he thought that the squadron represented what he wanted to be, right? Okay, so far so good. He had the completionist package, okay? And I think he had a Javelin destroyer, he had both the Idrises, he had all the constellations, all, you know, the Redeemer, the Reclaimer, the Carrack, the Orion, the Endeavor. He had them all. He had all those big ships, right? And the little ships too. Like he had the 300, the 315, the 325. He had the Cutlass. He had Hornet, Ghost, Tracker, Super Hornet, and he didn't have the Saber because this all happened before the Saber was out. But he had every single ship, and you know, first of all, I personally, as an individual, don't want to buy every single ship. I don't want to own every single ship. What I want is to earn the ship in the game. I want to be able to play the game, build up enough cash in the game to go out and buy me X, Y, or Z. But because he had some disposable income, to me, that seems like he's well off, right? He's very well off. He had extra money. So he bought all these ships. So being a member of our squadron, and he was telling our squadron, if you ever need a ship, you need the Idris, or you need a Javelin destroyer, or you need any of that stuff, just ask him, and he'll make sure that, you know, he allows the squadron to take it and use it. And I was like, that's pretty cool, you know, that this guy has all this stuff, and our squadron will never want or need for any of the. Now, I don't think, I know for a fact he doesn't have like a battle cruiser, because they haven't made it yet, or the Polaris, or the Pegasus, or the Bengal, or, you know, he doesn't have any of those. But he had everything up to the Javelin destroyer. And I was like, that'd be great. We could take a Javelin, you know, like 30 or 40 of us could pile onto that thing, and then we could go out and we could you know, secure some space lane or something like that. And then we could have ships docked inside of it, and then we could have ships docked inside of it, and if we needed to, we could break out. And, ships could dogfight while the Javelin destroyers flying around, and somebody could be on the bridge or firing missiles and all that good stuff, right? Yeah, Cole. The Bengal is not the biggest ship in the game. It's not even close. It's the biggest ship that it's not okay, let me back up. It's not the biggest ship in the game. It's not even close. It's not even half the size of the biggest ship in the game. There is a ship called the King ship. That ship is enormous, and I mean enormous. If you want, there is a video out there. I think it was Teller, did a video about the King ship, and he did did a fly through of the inside of the King ship to kind of show where all the ships were docked at inside and stuff like that. And you should check that out. It's probably twice as big as the Bengal. Let me think about that, if I remember right. If the Bengal was this big, the King ship was like this big. And then guess what? There's something bigger than the Bengal. The inside, even the UEE. You've got the battle cruiser. The battle cruiser is bigger than the Bengal. And it's player controllable. The Bengal will be player controllable. Can you buy it? No, of course not. Can you fly it pretty much anywhere? No, because the UEE is going to say, hey, you can't have that ship, and they'll want to take it back. So, but like you were saying, originally, like way back when, like 3 years ago, back on Wingman's Hangar, they were talking about the Bengal was going to be a derelict, like you were saying. Organizations could find it, they could repair it, but they couldn't fly it anywhere. It would be like the objective to a raid. Like in WoW, you would have you pull in your organization, you go on this raid, and that would pretty much be what this Bengal would be. You would take it over. You could use it as a space station in deep space someplace, and it wouldn't be able to fly because you don't have any engines because they're going to be blown up. And but in Squadron 42, it's going to be flying around. You're going to be landing on it and taking off from it during Squadron 42. And because it's an asset in the game that has an interior, because some ships don't have an interior, like you'll see some, like maybe the Harvester, I'm just going to use it as an example. The Harvester is really big, right? It's probably half the size of a Bengal. It's bigger than an Idris, but smaller than a Bengal. So the Harvester, because you'll never go inside of it, there's no need for them to create the inside of the Harvester. All they need to do is create the shell, the outside, and mount all the guns on it and have it do its thing. And but eventually, maybe further down the road, they'll decide at one point to go ahead and build the inside, because it would be really cool to board one and take on all the aliens and stuff. That would be super, super exciting. That's what I'm looking forward to, is hunting down aliens, maybe fighting alongside a Tavaran. Because the Tavarans are they used to be our enemy, but now they're our ally. So it's kind of I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but let's say the Japanese or the Germans, right? In World War II, they were our enemy, right? We would fight them. But today, they're like our biggest allies. They're like our best friends. So that's kind of the way the Tavaran were. They were our biggest enemy, but then over time, they became like our biggest friends. But it's even worse than that. Let's go back even further. It's kind of like the American Indians. We used to have wars. We took over their lands. You know, we basically put them on reservations and stuff like that. But American Indians, they're American citizens. As far as we're concerned, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's no difference. They're Americans. We're Americans. Because that's old generations. That's old bad blood, right? But today, we would be on the same battlefield, doing the same things. And that's kind of like an alien Tavaran. We were at war. We took over their lands. We absorbed them into our government. And now they're actually in our military. So that's pretty cool. Now, so I'll be fighting alongside some of these aliens, which I really don't know what they're going to look like. That'll be super cool. Yeah, the Bengal is a big ship. The Bengal is a gigantic group. Here, let me go ahead and do this. I'm not really doing anything but walking around. So let me pull up maybe a video. And I don't mind showing you guys someone else's video because what do you call it? I want to give props, or what do you call it? Like credit where credit is due. So let me go to the monitor capture, get rid of the Star Citizen. Let me pull this up and zoom. It goes across the screen. Okay, and then yeah, I type in teller, and guess what? Penn and Teller come up. Okay. Let's see. Yep, it says I watched this size comparison a year ago. Is the Kingship in that list? Looks like it is. It's got the Bengal and the Kingship. Okay, this is cool. I don't think I've seen this video. So we're gonna kind of let you see this. This is not the Kingship. This is actually one of the decks of the Bengal. Okay, but that ship directly to the right of it is not the Kingship, right? That's a battle cruiser? Wait, I'm trying to remember. I think that's the battle cruiser, the one directly to the right of it. And the Kingship, I think, is the one to the right of that. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, because the Kingship should be bigger than this. I think he messed up the size comparison. And I think that's what he says in his text. I think he says that I messed up the size comparison. Let me just see this. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn that music off because I don't know if that's copywritten or whatever. But yeah, this is the Kingship right here, and you can see the Bengal over there, how much bigger it is. This, I don't know what these are actually. I might have to do some research. I think that's supposed to be the Merchantman, maybe? That's the Merchantman? The Banu Merchantman? Let me take a look at it. It doesn't look like it. I mean, it could be. No, I don't know. I don't have any idea what that ship is. And again, I don't have any idea what that ship is. I know he did some videos on these ships, and yeah. But he did a flyby on this ship, the Kingship. Yeah, it is. It's the battle cruiser. It's the battle cruiser. They have a name for it. Damn it. Um, I can't remember. But it's got a huge rail gun that goes down the center. Uh, but there's a name for it. They haven't. It is a secret weapon, but that is the. I don't remember what it's called. Sorry. But like, here's the address. You know, and this is another Vandal ship. Not sure what it is. That's the destroyer over here, and that's like an early concept of the Caterpillar, which is not. It doesn't look anything like that anymore. Guess that's the Carrack. Yeah. So, but here let me go back a page because this is the King ship that I remember Teller doing. It was like a flyby, and you could see that like here's a Freelancer. Yeah, Freelancer. But you could look on the inside, and yeah. And this is still concept, and it's not finished. You know, you get the idea. Exactly, Robert, man. I played most of the Wing Commanders. I didn't play. Which one didn't I play? I don't think I played 2. I definitely remember playing 3, 4, and 5. And I think I played 1, but I might not have. I remember when I got Wing Commander, I was so super excited. It came on 12 3.5 floppy disks back in the day. Yeah, see, because all these, like, there's some guns, but all these little boxes and stuff, I don't know what all that's supposed to be. You know, we don't know. It could be cargo, could be consoles, could be rooms, could be anything. What is there going to be, like a force field keeping it all in, or is it just not finished being modeled? I know this is a 6-minute video, but like all through here is where ships are. But you could expect to do some like first-person combat on a king ship. That'd be pretty cool. And you've got some more guns up here. Now, there's going to be like ship-to-ship combat and stuff like that. That, you know, like big ship to big ship combat. And flying your little saber, you're not going to be able to do any kind of damage to these ships. I mean, you might fly in and blow off a radar antenna or blow up a turret, maybe. I could launch all my missiles at this thing, and they would just pop on the shields. You know, so I don't know. And what the heck is this supposed to be? See inside here. They're going for like an alien aesthetic. They're trying to make it unique or different. Um, they definitely did, but I don't know exactly. This isn't a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. They're going to have to like touch it up and figure it out exactly how they want to do it. But yeah, the Bengal is there's been some recent discussions on whether or not it should be flyable by a player. Um, I'm going to say it will be. It will be flyable. And the reason why I say that is because Star Citizen, way back when, put out a let's take a look. Hey, hang on. I'll go to Robert Space Industries. Okay, that's not Robert Space Industries. Maybe it is. Yeah, that's our squadron. But let's go to, where is it at? It's where the funding is, right? Funding. Okay, way back when there used to be stretch goals, and in those stretch, because when they were doing their campaign start in August of 2012, they promised things, and as the money came in, they started promising bigger and bigger things. And you don't have to go far down this list to see okay, where is it at? I think it's around 5 million. I'm not even there yet. Okay. See, it took 3,750,000 to promise the Drake. That wasn't an initial thing. Okay, but keep going. We're going to go right here. Star Citizen features an additional playable ship class, the Cruiser. Okay, so we haven't seen the Cruiser yet. Keep going. Right, 5 million. Star Citizen will feature the Bengal carrier as a playable ship class. 5 million. 5.5 million. Playable ship class. You see that, right? Bam. Okay, next. It's further down the line. Further down the line. They didn't know if they were going to have enough money for this. They will feature an additional ship class, the Frigate. Okay, where are we at? I'm looking for the escort carrier. That's another ship that is a little bit smaller than the Bengal. I think that's the Pegasus. Continuing on, continuing on. Here we go. Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship class, the Battle Cruiser. The Battle Cruiser. Battle cruisers are larger than cruisers, FYI. Okay. Continuing on. First-person combat on lawless planets. Don't just battle on space stations. Okay, so there's going to be combat on planets. That was back in 20 million. The 20 million days. Okay. Yeah, and then all the new enhanced ships, the 890 Jump, the Orion, the Surveyor, the Aegis Surveyor. We haven't even seen that yet or heard anything about it at all. The Carrack, Hull C, the Herald. Okay, we already got Tamsa. Bunch of different systems. At 41 million, we got the procedural generation team. Okay, good deal. Got that. Yeah, so a towel. Yeah, we've already got the towel. Okay, I can't wait for my Omni Roll armor. That'll be cool. There was a promise at 48 million to do a Retaliator commercial. Haven't seen it. We've got the web-based known universe map. Okay, that's already out there. More detailed AI. They're working on that. Endeavor. Okay, good, good, good. The Crucible. Good. The Vanguard. Prowler. That's something they're working on right now, I do believe. That should be a... Prowler is a Tavaran ship, right? If I remember right. You got the Starliner, the Reliant, the Pets. Supposed to be getting Pets, too. Haven't seen that yet. Modularity. And then they stopped doing the funding goals. But if you look back, you saw we're supposed to be getting a cruiser. We're supposed to be getting a battle cruiser. We're supposed to be getting, you know, the Bengal, of course. You were always going to get the Bengal, I thought, because that was on the main advertisement. All right, guys, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I am bailing on you all because I have to go to bed, and I work tomorrow, and I close. But I'll be on again tomorrow night. I'm on pretty much every night now, talking to people about Star Citizen, and I enjoy it, and I hope you do too. All right, you guys have a great night.